Welcome to the tutorial of Indian music. I am Lipika, a devotee of Indian vocal, instrument and dance. We learned many ragas. We came to know that ragas are originated from thoughts. We also know the names of 10 Thaat used in Hindustani classical. Today we'll be doing a comparative study between Raga and Thaat. So you can have a crystal clear idea, clear conception about Rag and Thaat. There should be no confusion about this because this is very important to know in classical music. What is Thaat? We can say a composition of swars capable of producing raga. Correct? A composition of notes or swars who is capable in producing raga, who can create raga, who can produce raga. Clear? What is raga? Same thing. Composition of notes. A composition of swars capable of giving pleasure. Same thing. Raga is also a composition of notes, but capable of giving pleasure, entertaining human mind, which Thaat cannot do. So this is the first point number 1 in our comparative study. What is Raga and what is Thaat? Both are composition of notes, composition of swars. Thaat is capable of producing raga, and raga is capable of giving pleasure. Clear? Point number 2, second point. Thaat originates from, where from? Saptak. What is Saptak? What is octave? Sa, Komal Re, Shuddha Re, Komal Ga, Suddha Ga, Suddha Ma, Tibra Ma, Pa, Komal Dha, Suddha Dha, Komalni, Tibrani. These all notes make a saptak. So saptak is a combination of 12 notes. The basic 12 notes. Thaat originates from saptak and raga originates from the Thaat. So saptak say Thaat and Thaat say raga. From saptak, Thaat comes, then from Thaat, raga comes. Clear? Very clear? Point number 3. The swars used in a Thaat need to be arranged consecutively. Means one after one, one by one. Sa, then Re, then Ga, then Ma, then Pa, then Dha, then Ni. Swars used in a Thaat need to be arranged consecutively. But the swars used in a raga not need to be arranged consecutively. I repeat, the swars used in a Thaat need to be arranged consecutively. But the swars used in a raga, it doesn't need to be arranged consecutively. Now, one question may arise. Ma'am, you always teach Arohan Avrohan in a raga, so that swars come consecutively. If we do Raga Vairav, Saregama Padhanisa in Arohan, in Avrohan we do Sanidapa Magaresa. It comes one by one. So in Raga also the Arohan Avrohan, the swars, they come consecutively. No, that's for teaching. It is to teach you. When we perform a raga, what do we do? Do we say, now I am going to perform this raga. This raga has 2 Komal swars, 1 Tibra swar, and this is Varjit swar. Do we do this? No, no one will listen. Everybody will go back. No one is interested to know the history of the raga. The listener comes to listen something which gives pleasure, not to know which raga I am going to perform and what is the introduction of the raga, what is the identity of the raga. This thing. This I teach you to know the raga, to learn the raga. When we perform on stage or when we perform a raga, When we sing a raga after learning, what we do? We start singing the raga with alap. Alap means parichaya, introduction. How do we do the introduction part of that raga? We don't need to say anything, Barjit sir, this sir, that sir, Suddha sir, Kamal sir, blah blah blah. We do not do just Arohan Avarohan, but we do the Arohan Avarohan in a different form. So it's not necessary to sing the swars one by one from Sa. Let's give an example. Suppose I am performing Raga Vairavi, Re Ga Dhani Komal, Jati Sampurna. All notes are present. So we never do Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni Sa. No, we don't do that. What we do? We do alap. We do this. What did I do? Sa ma ga dha pa ga pa dha pa ma ga ma ga ma re ni da sa re ni dha sa. When we sing a rag, we do it in this way. Let's do Iman. We know Tibrama is there in Iman. Arohan Avrohan, Ni Re Ga Ma, Pa Dha Ni Sa, Sa Ni Dha Pa Ma Ga Re Sa. Clear? How we start the raga? Ni re ga re ma ga pa re ni dha ni re sa What did I do? Ni re ga. I did it. Ma. I didn't do that. What I did? Re ga re ma ga. I wanted to make it Shruti Madhur, as much melodious as I can. Understand? I want to show the beauty of the raga. I want to make the chalan in that way instead of doing Arohan Avrohan. But I am doing that Arohan Avrohan. Alap karte karte we reach Tar Saptak. Then again we come back. Ta ni da pa ma ga ni re ga ma pa re ga re ni re ga re ni re sa. So we did Arohan, we did Avrohan, but in a different way. So in Thaat, the swars come consecutively. But in Raga, the notes, the swars doesn't need to come consecutively. We just sing the Raga. But we don't sing the Thaat. We sing the Raga. Why? Because it gives pleasure. Clear? Next point. Point number 4. Thaat is not composed with less than 7 swars. I repeat. Thaat is never composed with less than 7 swars. 7 notes must be there. Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. Everyone will be present in a Thaat. We know 10 Thaats are there in Hindustani classical music. These all Thaats have 7 notes, 7 swars. But in Raga, this obligation is not necessary. There is no such obligation in Raga. We know 5, 6 or 7. Any number of swars can make a Raga. But Thaat is always with 7 notes, 7 swars. As an example, Malkosh Rag. Malkosh Rag, you learnt Malkosh Rag. Sa ga ma dha ni sa. Sa ga ma da ni sa. Sa ni da ma. Ga ma da ma ga ma ga sa ni da sa. Sa ga ma dha ni. 5 notes are there in Malkosh, Arohan or Avrohan. But the Thaat of this Malkosh Raga is Bhairavi. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. So Malkosh is born from Bhairavi. And you also know a Thaat can produce how many ragas? 484 ragas. 484 number of ragas can be produced from one Thaat. You know the mathematical calculation also. So, the Raga Bhairavi can produce 484 ragas maximum. Malkosh is one of them. So, this is the form of Malkosh. Sa ga ma dha ni sa. Sa ni dha ma. Ga ma dha ma ga ma ga sa. This is Malkosh. Clear? So this point was 7 swars must be needed in a Thaat and 7 swars must not be needed in a Raga. It can be 5, it can be 6, it can be 7. Yeah, Sampurna Jati Raga are also having 7 notes. But it's not necessary that all ragas, any raga has to have 7 swars or 7 notes. Clear? Next point. There is no Barjit swar in a Thaat. But Barjit swars are there in the ragas. Barjit swar is out of question in a Thaat because all the Thaats have 7 notes. So, no swar is Barjit here. No swar is forbidden. But in Raga, if the Raga is of 5 notes, 5 swars, like Malkosh, Saga, Madhani, Re and Pa. These 2 swars are Barjit here in Malkosh. Bhupali, Sare Gapa Dhasa. Ma and Ni are Barjit here in Raga Bhupali. But in Bhairav, Sare Gama Padhani Sa, Sanidha Pamagare Sa, Redha Komal. But no one is Barjit here. So Barjit swars may be there in some ragas. But in Thaat, Barjit swar is out of question because all notes are present there. So, no question of having Barjit swar. Clear? So, there is no Barjit swar in Thaat, but Barjit swars are there in Raga, except a rule. Except one rule, which is very important. Listen carefully. Ma and Pa cannot be forbidden together in a Raga. I repeat, Ma and Pa, both cannot be Barjit in a Raga. Either Ma or Pa must be there. Either Ma can be Barjit or Pa can be Barjit. See Rag Malkosh, Saga Madhani Sa, Pa is Barjit here. See Bhupali, Saregapa Dhasa, Ma is Barjit here. But Ma and Pa together, एक साथ दोनों Barjit हो गई. No. It never happens. So, Ma and Pa cannot be forbidden in any Raga. Either Ma or Pa. One has to be present in a Raga. Okay? Just remember it. Never forget. There is no Avarohan in Thaat. There is no Arohan Avrohan concept in Thaat. Particularly, there is no Avarohan in Thaat. What we see? We only see the swars present in a Thaat, like Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni. Swars can be Komal, Tibra or Sudha, but it never looks like Arohan Avrohan. In Bhairav Thaat, we see Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa. Within this combination, Re and Dha are Komal. Okay? The ragas created from Bhairav Thaat it is expected Re and Dha must be Komal. So there is no concept of Avrohan in a Thaat. But Arohan and Avrohan both are there in a Raga. In fact, that is why we can sing the Raga nicely. We can express the inner beauty of the Raga by doing this up and down and these things. And it hears so melodious. So there is no concept of Avrohan in the Thaat, but the concept of Arohan and Avrohan both are there in a Raga. Now the next point number 7. A Thaat does not have power to entertain. Thaat doesn't have the power to entertain, to give pleasure. But Raga has the power to entertain, to give pleasure. That is why Thaat is not sung, but Raga is sung. So this point is similar to point number 1, but little different. Point number 1 was the definition of Thaat. Definition of Thaat, the composition of notes which cannot entertain. And the definition of Raga was the composition of notes which can entertain. So it's almost similar here in point number 7, but bit different. Here we are highlighting the power. Thaat doesn't have that power to entertain. That's why it's not sung. But Raga has the power to entertain, to give pleasure. That's why it's sung. Clear? Last point. Point number 8. A Thaat does not need coloring, but a Raga needs it. I repeat, Thaat does not need coloring, dyeing, but a Raga needs it. Coloring means to decorate. We cannot decorate a Thaat, but we can decorate a Raga as beautifully as we can. But there is no scope to decorate a Thaat. But there are certain scopes to decorate a Raga. So, Thaat doesn't need coloring, but Raga needs it. The more beautifully one sings a Raga, the more the form of the Raga opens up. I repeat. The more beautifully someone sings a Raga, the more the form of the Raga opens up. There is no chance for doing that in a Thaat. So we have done a comparative study between Thaat and Raga. Difference between Raga and Thaat. Did you understand? You should know the difference between a Raga and Thaat. If you teach someone, it will be easier to teach if these concepts are clearly known to you. So, from today, the concept of Thaat and Raga is clearly known to you. The concept of Thaat and Raga has become completely clear to you from today. Very good. That's all for today. I will not say more. Little by little, with a small step, we have already come a long way. Not that we learn a lot in each class, but step by step, with small step, doing one class. We have come a long way overall. Now, the time to say goodbye. Stay well, everyone.